Hello everyone, it's Amy, and I just made some of these like the pick-a-sticks, and I have some ovals that I made for myself, but these are some little kids blocks that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I watched Gina Ahrens. She got these. They come 9 in a pack, and she decided that she wanted to make little dice for like your pick-a-sticks, and I thought that was a really cool idea and a good way to have quite a few in a small space, because there's 9 blocks in a box of these, and I bought 2 boxes, but so in 9 blocks with 6 on each block, that gives you 54 you know, rolls, I guess, or 54 things that you could possibly do. And so I got 2 boxes, so I have 108 items on my blocks. And I decided that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 9 of them. And I don't know why 9, but everything looks better in odd numbers, right? So I'm going to just grab those 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I just painted the blocks because they're 6-sided. I painted red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple on them. And then I just put different things like use a stencil, use glass gems, and I'm just going to mix these up. Let's see what this one says. So I have used tissue paper, add a natural element, use milk paint, and I just went through my art room, and like milk paint I got on clearance somewhere and I've never even used it before, so I just went through my art room and I just like looked at all the different things I had and wrote them all down. This one says use a white paint pen, use chipboard, add wood, use wax mica glaze, and that's some glaze that I had made with some future floor wax and mica powders, and I do have a video on that. Add purple and add silver. So those are going to be my 9 picks, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go and get those 9 things, and then I will be back. Okay, so I grabbed out everything that's on my list, and for my chipboard I just grabbed a box and I decided I'm going to make a tag. And so what I did was I just drew 2 lines right from this line here. I drew 6 inches up, and then it's 4 inches wide. And so what I did was I just measured to the 2-inch mark in the middle, and I made a mark right here at 2 inches because that's 2 inches each way. And then I just took my a paint bottle and I just drew around it. And I'm doing this on the back, so it doesn't matter exactly where. I just drew around it. And then I drew from my line to that circle. So that's going to kind of give me a tag shape. Just basic, probably not totally perfect, but I wanted a little bit of round on the top of my tag, and I thought that would be the way that I could kind of get it in the middle and attach it to my box. So we'll see how it looks after we get it cut out. And of course I had to grab like the most massive scissors that I have. I don't know why. And I just drew it on the back so that I didn't have to worry about the lines. I think I need to cut that bottom off a little bit better. There we go. Let's see how we can do this with these huge scissors. Hopefully it turns out nice, and then I can just punch a hole in the top. And there we go. That's what my tag looks like. It looks good. Okay. So then, let's see. It says to add purple, so I grabbed some purple paint. I also grabbed some, this is just a little piece of melted Tyvek that I had played with, and that was purple, so I thought that might look kind of pretty. I got some tissue paper here that I had stamped on a long time ago. So I thought that might make a nice background. And I have some bark that I got when I went to visit my aunt and uncle in California when my daughter graduated. I don't know what kind of bark this is. It like falls off the trees and then the trees are bare after that. And then I have some, for my wood, I grabbed some little wooden hearts. I got out my milk paint. For silver, I grabbed some silver nail polish, my white paint pen, and then these are my mica glazes. So, I think to start with, I think I'm going to paint the background purple and then put the tissue paper on it. No, maybe I'll paint the background with the milk paint. And I have to see if it even tells me how to use it. I know you have to mix it with water, but there are no instructions, so I'm just going to mix it with some water and paint it on there. And I will be right back because I didn't get a paintbrush and I didn't get any water or anything to mix that in. So I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. And what I did was I decided that after I painted this, I was going to have to let it dry and then Mod Podge my tissue paper on there. So I decided just to grab my water glue, which is 2 parts glue and 1 part water. And instead of just mixing this in water, I'm going to just mix it right there in my water glue, and then I am going to just put my tissue paper right down on top of it as soon as I get it painted on, and then I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And you know, since I don't know how to actually use this in the first place, there's no wrong way to use it, right? I always like try and pick up something that I've never seen this milk paint before. And so I always like to get things that are just different. I think I'm going to have extra, so I'll have to put that on something else when I'm done here. I need to close up this milk paint before I spill it. And then I'm just going to put it on there. It's kind of a nice mauvey color. And it just like whitewashing something. It's not really solid, and I think even if I had done it with water, it's probably more solid with the glue than it would have been with water. Because some of the little spots are not completely mixed in. I'm getting a few like little dark streaks here and there where the powder did not mix. And I don't know if you can see that or not. My lighting is not the best, but anyway, so we've got that. And then what I'm going to do, put that in my water. I'm going to grab my regular water glue, and I ripped off some of the tissue paper. I'm just going to stick that right on there. I'm going to put this fan on top, like that. And since the other has got the glue in it on the bottom, I just need to put the glue on the top. And I don't have any problems if I get wrinkles in my tissue paper because I like the looks of that. This tissue paper, I just pulled out a bunch of my stamps one day, and my black stays on ink because I knew that I'd be Mod Podging it, so I didn't want to put anything that would run. And I just sat there and I just stamped a great big piece of tissue paper. And actually, I did a full sheet, and I only just have a little bit left, so I use it quite often. You don't have to buy it at the store. You can make your own. Plus, it's something that you're doing, Gives you something to do to make it instead of going and buying it. So there we go. Now I do have to let this dry before I go any further. So I am going to take my milk paint and put it on some paper, maybe some iCads and some ATCs, and get that somewhere so that I don't waste it. And when this is dry, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I've got my tag dried. I used my the rest of my milk paint on the cardboard that I had here, and it has a really cool feel to it. It kind of made the cardboard feel a little leathery. But I've decided to put my hearts on like this, and I've decided not to use this for my purple because I don't see a place where I'm going to want to put it. So what I thought that I would do is I got out some Inca Gold purple and some Faber-Castell Texture Luxe silver, and so that's what I'm going to use for my silver. Well, maybe that's what I'm going to use for my silver if I can get it open. This part right here is really bendy. Interesting. Well, I have out some rubber gloves to use my what do we call it? My wax mica, and because that is made with food coloring and it really stains. So maybe the rubber on these gloves, there we go. The rubber on the gloves did help me get that open. I'll put this down here. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Like the way that looks. And then I'm just going to put just kind of a little bit of silver here and there. Pick up some of the crinkles in the tissue paper. And I want to put the purple on at the same time. And I'm going to need to get that a little bit wet. These dry out, but if you get them a little bit wet, they come right back to life. And then usually I kind of leave them open actually to dry when I'm done with them so that they don't get moldy, because I had one that got moldy. And when it did get moldy, I just I scraped the mold off the top of it and then stopped closing it while it was wet, and then it was fine after that. There we go. Just get a little bit of background in there. I was going to do just go around the edges with the silver, but I think I'm just going to leave that because I think I'm actually going to go around the edges with black when I'm all done, because I think that it's probably going to need that to stand out a bit. Set my purple aside. Okay, now these are my wax micas, and this is just food coloring and Future Floor Wax and mica powders. And so I thought what I would do is I thought that I would make the hearts red and purple. I thought I would do red, purple, red on my hearts. And I think I'm just going to put it on with my finger and see how that works. I don't know if you can see the sparkle in that. And it's with the floor wax, it's nice and shiny. And then the mica powders really make it, give it an extra shine. This glove is too big. One fits, one doesn't. And then the only thing is, because I shook it, it's got a lot of bubbles in it, so you don't really want those bubbles to dry on your heart. Make sure you get your edges. Oh, and I also painted these with, I painted the hearts with the milk paint also before this, and then made sure that they got good and dry. Okay, I'm going to put this one going to close that before I do the next one. But yeah, the food coloring will really stain your hands. So that's, I think this is the only thing that I ever wear gloves with. And I have other things that stain too, but I don't know what it is about this. Maybe it's the wax, maybe it's just the food coloring, but boy, does it stain. And like if I get my hands stained with alcohol inks, I can clean that with rubbing alcohol. I haven't really found anything that cleans this really well, so you want to be very careful with it too. Don't want to spill it. Kind of smooth out my fingerprints there. Oh, I love that dark purple. And it has a nice sheen to it, and it's got a little bit of mica sparkle in it. And these are, this was, and actually the mica powder that I used for these was the, what do they call it? New York Colors or something like that, eyeshadow. So now I'm going to let those dry really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the hearts dry, and I decided to put the silver fingernail polish around the edges of the heart, and I'm just kind of letting the brush just barely go up over the top side so that you can see it not only on the edges but a little bit around the top. And I'm putting quite a bit on here because the wood is kind of rough. And so that's kind of filling in those ridge marks also. And even here, a little bit of the heart is, a little bit of the wood right there is actually chipped off of the heart. These were made out of some kind of, looks like glue-on or something, which normally you would not cut into small shapes like this because it does splinter. But that's okay. Especially when you're doing mixed media, all those little extra bits just give it added interest and lets them be used. Just a little bit more right here. Oh, and I'm going right in the light, aren't I? Sorry about that. So there we go. So now I've got the 3 hearts, and I need to let the fingernail polish dry. And that's our wood, and we've used chipboard. We have a white paint pen. We've added silver. We've added purple. Actually, the only thing that we have left that we have to do is we have to use our white paint pen. And I think that I'm going to go around the hearts with the white paint pen, around the edges with black, and I think, let's see how dry this one is. This one is dry. I'm going to put them like this. This one here, that one there, and that one there. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to do it. And then I think I'm going to put some words on there. Print them off my computer probably. And I just have some tacky glue to put these on with. I think that that's going to be my best bet. I'm not sure how I want to do it. I kind of think I almost want to put like I love you, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to think about that for a minute. And give these a good press. Now I have to think just a bit. I know that I just kind of wanted to like go around the hearts really sloppy. Trying to get the paint to come out my pen. See if that works. Let me try and move my outline a little bit. Well, let's see. I think lighting is one of the hardest things to do when you're videoing. Okay, well, hopefully that will work a little bit. And hopefully my paint pen will work. And it's not really working. I don't know why it's being a booger. I know it's got, oops. I just pulled the tip out. Okay, let me hold it for a second. Okay, now it looks like the paint's coming out. There we go. Well, I did want it messy, so I guess it's okay if it's not a solid line. Well, that's just frustrating, you know? White paint pens are just not my favorite. And I have to say that I got some white correction pens from the Dollar Tree. And as far as I'm concerned, they work just as well, if not better, the way that this one's working today. Yeah. This is not working the best. And it's probably something I'm doing wrong with it. I don't know. This is my second one. This one I think is Elmer's. And it's the second one that I've had like this. The first one I kind of liked. I bought a Sharpie one at Hobby Lobby. Paid $5 for it. Came home and tried to use it, and it just blobbed white everywhere, no matter what. That one was terrible. I couldn't even use that one at all. Kind of like this one is doing, except that one never. See how thick it is up there? Yeah, I'm really not happy with the way that this is working. Well, I wanted messy, and I definitely got messy. So this wasn't quite the messy I was looking for. I was looking for just lots of lines kind of scribbled around there. there's a big fat squirrel in the backyard. Sorry about that. It just caught my attention out of the corner of my eye. It's starting to get light out here. And they're coming out to help themselves to the bird feeder. And I really don't mind. My mom always used to hate it when the squirrels would get in the bird feeder. And my dad took a saucer, like a sled saucer. And it was a metal one, and he like put it upside down under the birdhouse. And that worked pretty good. But sometimes they were still up there. And one day my mom was watching, and the squirrel just went up the pole, reached out, grabbed the edge of the saucer, and did like a backflip up into the bird feeder. She couldn't believe it. But I don't mind. We just put out extra because I actually like watching the squirrels as much as I like watching the birds. Okay. Well, there we go. We've got our white missy hearts. And I'm going to have to figure out what kind of words I want to put on there. I need to grab my black pen to go around the edges. And I'm going to want to do some doodling and stuff on here too. But this is where we are so far. I'll be back in a minute. So here is my finished tag. And this was from my Pick 9 blocks that I saw these blocks on Gina Ahrens' channel. And I almost forgot to add my natural element, and I'm really glad that I had that because it really lifted this up a little bit. It was really getting dark, so I added a little bit of silver paint pen around the top, some tassels. I wrote love on the little heart, and then I put some decoration on the other two. I doodled on some hearts, and then doodled them in purple, and then outlined them in black. Did the black and white around the edges. And this is how my tag turned out. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciated it. I really just wanted to do something this morning, and I didn't know what to do. So that's where these type of things, the Pick-a-Sticks, whatever you have, that's where they really come in handy. When you want to create something and you're just not sure what. Or you have 5 million things in your head and you don't know how to narrow it down into what to do. So this is the tag that I made with my I picked 9. And I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.